First Presbyterian friends. This is Leigh Anne Roach. I'm here at First Presbyterian with Pat Wolverton. Pat was asked to locate and organize historical materials that are here at the church, and she asked me and Jan Eady to help her out. In the past, such materials had been organized and sent to Birmingham Public Library Archives for indexing and storage, and also to the Historical Society at Montreat. But there was still an abundance of materials to be dealt with. We discovered a trove of fascinating material: pamphlets celebrating various church anniversaries, reports of Presbyterian women and Sunday school records, newspaper clippings, and photo albums about First Light, giant 100-year-old pulpit Bibles, some of which seem to weigh about 10 pounds or 20 pounds, and even bronze plaques memorializing the efforts of church members who contributed from everything from Sunday school renovations to other major renovations. What we found made us feel connected to the members of First Presbyterian, past and present. We could feel their joys, we could feel their sorrows, their hopes and their dreams, their commitment to share the love of God. We laughed, sometimes we cried over the stories of the members who worked hard, prayed hard, celebrated with gladness, and spread the love of Christ. We had our favorite finds with their marvelous stories. One story especially intrigued Pat. So Pat will tell us about the story of Catherine Ramage.
Hey y'all, thank you Leigh Anne for that introduction. And what I wanted to talk to y'all about, what I think is the gem of our collection here at First Presbyterian Church, and it's Catherine Ramage's diaries. But before I get into that, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Catherine Ramage. She was born in Birmingham, Alabama in 1922. She was an only child, and she was a child of First Presbyterian. She was a devoted Presbyterian. You could say she was very Presbyterian, because due to the devotion that she had, she kept these diaries and scrapbooks, which chronicled the life of First Presbyterian from like 1939 through 1956. Now, I know you might think of a diary as being a personal thought, but that's really not what these are. This is what she thought was important to save from First Presbyterian. But it does have her thoughts, her touch, and her thoughts too. But it's full of church bulletins and newspaper clippings. So Catherine was very accomplished. She earned her bachelor's in sociology with a minor in art from the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. She worked as a draftsperson at Hayes Aircraft in Atlanta during World War II. She returned to Birmingham after the war and went to work as a medical illustrator. So I just wanted to, this is the first diary, and it begins in 1939 and goes until 1940. I just wanted to show you all the wonderful things that she saved for us. Here is Reverend Dudley when he first came to First Presbyterian. This was like in 1939, and these pages are kind of delicate. And then here are some other newspaper clippings. Here's a bulletin from September 10th, 1939, and more bulletins. And it's just full. Here's some more newspaper clippings, and like here she pasted the newspaper clippings inside the bulletin. It's just full of, the whole collection is just full of wonderful history, and I just learned so much from these books. So, I was talking about Dr. Dudley in the first diary, and so Dr. Dudley was the minister at First Pres from like 1939 to around 1945. But in 1946, a 37-year-old seasoned bachelor became the minister of the Old First, and that was Dr. Ed Ramage. And a fiery, red-headed girl caught his eye, and that was Catherine Morrow Waters. And y'all, it was a love story. they began. So their courtship began, and but they decided to keep it secret because they didn't want any whispering from the church members going on. So he proposed very quickly, and they got married April 20th, 1948. And here is their wedding announcement. That's in the diary. And I'm going to turn this around. I just want to read just the first paragraph or two. The marriage of Miss Catherine Morrow Waters and the Reverend Edward Vanderbilt Ramage took place at noon today at the First Presbyterian Church, where the bridegroom is the minister. Urns were filled with calla lilies and branched candelabra. With burning tapers on the church altar, huckleberry greens formed a background. And why I wanted to read that is because you just don't hear that anymore. You don't see wedding announcements like they used to be back in the day. I also want to say that Dr. Ramage's best man was William Rushton, who's Billy and Jimmy Rushton's father. So there's just so many interesting newspaper clippings, bulletins, all kinds of things in these diaries. Now, First Pres, or the Old First, is rich in history, and I just feel like the connection that we have to the past is what had made us who we are today. Thank you.